Speaker. We talk about dignity. Let's talk about dignity for victims when we come up here and talk about dignity. Trans are 6 times more likely to be stopped by police. I'd love to see that research. How do you know that someone's even trans before you pull them over? So I find that very odd. And I'm going to go to Next Benedict, because Next Benedict walked into the hospital and said that she bullied those kids and poured water on them before anything even happened. So let's be very clear. We don't know the toxicology reports. We don't know why Next Benedict died. So when we say it's because of bullying and they engaged the bullying, I'd be very careful. You say this bill was about misdemeanors. This bill is about felons. Let's talk about felonies. Let's talk about felonies. These aren't traffic violations. Let's talk about felonies. Violent crimes like murder, violent sexual assault, assault with serious bodily injury, sex crimes, kidnapping, strangulation, rape, aggravated extortion, trafficking, prostituting kids. Oh, no, that's just a misdemeanor here in Colorado. My apologies. So you can do all of these things, and it's your right to change your name. Let's talk about dignity. The bill sponsor said it's your right based on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But again, what about the victims of these crimes? Let's talk about their stories. Let's talk about dignity for the victims. The woman who was almost strangled to death, where's her dignity? The woman who was raped, the child who was kidnapped, internet sexual exploitation of a child, exposing and masturbating in front of a child, that's a felony. The family of a member that had a child or family member murdered, domestic abuse, serious child abuse resulting in serious bodily injury or death.
Representative Bradley, I do want to give you latitude, as I have others, but the bill is focused on name change, not the crimes themselves. Thank you.
Okay, can I clarify, Madam Speaker?
Please.
It's on name changes for people who commit felonies.
Yes.
I'm talking about the felonies in Colorado.
Yes, Representative Bradley, thank you for that.
Thank you.
But as we continue to talk about crimes that have been convicted, people have been convicted of, what I'm asking is that you relate that back to the name change. Thank you.
I'm talking about victims of crimes of felonies, and when we change our names, where is the dignity to the victims? There's a member in this chamber who has sexual allegations against her. We talk about that. We talk about the victim of that crime. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We've compared that to civil rights leaders. We compared it to my Lord and Savior saying he's a criminal. We have to be careful what we say down at this well. It's time for us to take a stand as legislators for the victims in your district. Victims of violent crimes, victims of sexual crimes, those are felonies. And by this bill, we're allowing them to change their name, all in the name of dignity. This is about public safety. This is about child safety. We are one of the worst states when it comes to public safety, and this bill will lead to that. This is about transparency and accountability for criminals, not carving out a special section of criminals that get to change their name. I can't even believe I have to come up here and argue this. This bill is about making criminals the victims. And again, this is not misdemeanors. These aren't traffic violations like it was said. These aren't being pulled over for not having your license. These are violent offenders in most of these cases because they're felons. This bill is about making criminals the victims, and we need to take a stand for the victims in our district. This is not about respect. This is not about coming after a certain community. This is about protecting the children and the people in our districts that voted us in here because we said that we were going to make Colorado a safer place. And when we come with bills like this that carve certain criminals out, that are allowed to change their name, it is not fair and it does not give justice to the victims of their crimes. I urge a strong no vote on this bill.